Forgotten dough becomes a breakfast staple, minds get twisted by advertising, and a sweet addition borders on addiction. You'll never look at that morning donut the same way again. Picture this. Before the sun has fully risen over colonial America, families gather around their hearth, coaxing a pot of creamy cornmeal or oat, the precursor to our beloved oatmeal. This warming breakfast could be sweetened by a dollop of butter, a drizzle of molasses, or perhaps a generous splash of maple syrup. More than porridge, families also feasted on cornbreads. They were the breakfast staples that graced households for generations, all the way to this day and age where they share the table with more modern breakfast bakes. Fast forward to when the colonies unified into a single nation, the new era brought with it the blessings of affordable sugar. No longer a luxury, sugar now sat on pantry shelves alongside honey, molasses, and maple syrup, resulting in an outpouring of breakfast breads. Thus, history shows us that America's sweet tooth didn't just appear overnight, but was formed through generations, leaving us with the sweet legacy we savor today. In a country that prides itself on its go-getter mentality, time is a luxury. So breakfast better be quick, filling, and, well, sweet. Why? There's an underlying belief that sugar delivers that much-needed energy boost. That's why breakfast is the most important meal, right?
What did I always tell you? Breakfast is a big boy's most important meal of the day. Now start on these Cocoa Puffs.
Not to mention that overly sweet, prepackaged treat is just so convenient. But does it really give us the kick we think it does? Sugars, being the most straightforward form of carbs, offer a tempting promise, a rapid energy lift. This is because our body processes them at breakneck speed, giving us an exhilarating, if not fleeting, energy jolt. However, this sugar high merely comes and goes. You'll feel a rapid plummet in your blood glucose levels, and your concentration will be broken in mere hours. Sure, a bite of a sweet pastry is nothing to fret about, but with off-the-charts calorie counts and a lack of fiber, our bodies process this sugary confection faster than our organs are wired to handle. A significant chunk of this sugary overload gets promptly escorted into our visceral fat stores. So, while America's love for quick, sugary breakfast bites does stem from a genuine need for a quick pick-me-up, understanding sugar's role in health can help us navigate our mornings with more informed choices. Sweets undeniably are the epitome of comfort food. Most of our love for these indulgent bites comes from a combination of chemicals and nostalgia. Foods rich in sugar, fat, and salt have a way of playing with our brain's reward system like a symphony, urging our brain to release those euphoria-inducing chemicals, notably dopamine. This sensation isn't merely sensory, it's deeply rooted in the biology of our brain. After indulging, the rush of dopamine momentarily melts away stress and tension. For many, these breakfast desires are also moments of connection. The craving for these comfort foods can strike morning or night, but breakfast offers a unique opportunity to start the day enveloped in the comforting memories and tastes of yesteryears. Whether our cravings are triggered physiologically or psychologically, celebrating mornings doesn't necessitate a sugar overload.
Excuse me, but this has powdered sugar on it, and I ordered no sugar. I really can't have too much sugar in the morning.
America's relationship with breakfast cereal has been, well, a bit of a roller coaster. Before the age of vibrant cereal boxes, Dr. John Harvey Kellogg was focused on improving his patients' digestive health. That led him to craft what we now recognize as granola, using a combination of flour, oats, and cornmeal. But in 1894, when a batch of Kellogg's wheat dough was forgotten, it became stale and was flaked into what we now recognize as cereal. Then, in 1906, his younger brother introduced the one and only cornflakes, which he added sugar to in hopes it would appeal to a wider audience, transforming morning meals across the nation. As women began making their way into the workforce to support their families, there was a growing need for a quick, child-friendly breakfast solution, and cereal was often the first meal many kids learned to prepare themselves.
Kids love Count Chocula because it has chocolatey flavor and real marshmallows.
Whether as a healthy food or a sugary treat, cereals have indeed weathered the test of time to sweeten our breakfast to this day. Your love for sweet breakfasts was, in part, artfully designed by advertising experts over the years. In fact, over $13.5 billion was splurged on media advertising by over 20,300 food and beverage companies in 2016 alone. Most people don't even know this, but advertising was practically actually invented to sell cereal. Moreover, these advertisements were primarily targeted at children, with an average child witnessing a staggering 4,000 advertisements in a year. Take, for example, the first ever cereal mascot, Sunny Jim. Not only was this an unprecedented marketing success in the 1900s, but it paved the way for the likes of Tony the Tiger and Toucan Sam to grace our breakfast tables and televisions to this day. However, these cereals were, and mostly still are, brimming with sugars. Mounting concerns led to regulations in the late 20th century, with the Children's Television Act of 1990 curbing ads in children's programming. By 2006, major cereal brands committed to promoting healthier options through their ads.
Did you know Honey Nut Cheerios has oats that can help lower cholesterol?
It's evident that commercials profoundly influence children, and in turn, shopping lists. Thus, the need to regulate and perhaps rethink our perceptions of food advertising and our approach to grocery shopping becomes paramount, especially because advertising can be a bit dubious about their true nutritional values. Everywhere you look, from corner bodegas to fancy urban high-rises, you're bound to spot someone clutching a branded coffee cup in the morning. According to a survey by Drive Research, a good 49% of respondents drank 3 to 5 cups daily, with nearly a third of these coffee lovers making purchases from a coffee shop multiple times a week. This makes sense, given that it's such a convenient place to grab a cup and a sweet pastry on the side too, not to mention they're trendy. However, you might not realize how jaw-dropping the sugar content is in your favorite drink. For example, Dunkin' Donuts recently revealed the Pumpkin Swirl Frozen Coffee. It sounds delicious, but know that it has a whopping 185 grams of sugar, equivalent to gobbling down 14 glazed donuts in one go. With such staggering figures, that modest, medium-sized beverage is actually packing more sugar than the FDA recommends in an entire day. Even just an average iced coffee might be the equivalent of guzzling down 5 cans of Coke. With whipped creams, flavored syrups, and a side of pastry, coffees are becoming more than just about the beans at these coffee chains. The rise of America's sweet breakfast table is also deeply intertwined with the ebb and flow of economic forces, particularly in the aftermath of the Industrial Revolution, which marked a significant turning point in our dietary choices. In 1856, Williamsburg, Brooklyn celebrated the birth of the largest and most advanced sugar refinery the world had seen. This massive advancement in sugar tech meant that American sugar was now easier and cheaper to produce, flooding markets with a commodity that was once a luxury. In the late 1970s, high fructose corn syrup, or HFCS, came at a pivotal moment when sugar prices were soaring, partly because of restricted trade practices, while corn prices plummeted. Some argue it was because of its even sweeter taste compared to regular sugar, potentially prompting people to consume more beverages sweetened with it. Sensing an opportunity to cut costs, in 1980, Coca-Cola championed the switch to HFCS. By the mid-80s, most of its competitors had hopped on the sweet bandwagon too. The history of sweet American breakfasts is a product of several intertwined threads: economic, industrial, and agricultural. As manufacturers found cost-effective ways to sweeten our foods, our palates adapted, and the cycle continued, cementing sugary breakfasts as an American mainstay. Many of us remain blissfully unaware of how much sugar we're actually consuming, let alone its potential addictiveness. Research indicates the average American ingests about 15 teaspoons of added sugar daily, but most of this sugar isn't coming from the spoonfuls we knowingly add to our coffees. Instead, it's covertly nestled in our packaged foods. There's a list of names you might gloss over on a nutrition label, from barley malt and cane juice crystals to more exotic-sounding terms like maltodextrin, muscovado, and panela. Given that recommended daily sugar limits hover around 12 teaspoons, a single indulgent breakfast can almost double the quota. Even that innocuous-looking muffin you grabbed on the go, it's quietly harboring roughly 9 teaspoons of sugar. Eating sweet foods ignites our brain's reward system, known as the mesolimbic dopamine system. It's the same chemical thrill that illicit drugs trigger in our system. In fact, according to Wellness Retreat, studies have highlighted unsettling parallels between sugar and drugs like cocaine. Thus, our relationship with sugar is a deeply entrenched, systematic cycle we unknowingly reinforce every morning, making it harder to break free the next day. Maybe the answer is as simple as Americans like how sweets taste. While human bodies gravitate toward sugar, Americans take it to a whole new level.
No sugar added, and I'm proud of that.
With an astonishing 42% of an average American's daily caloric intake coming from sugar, a staggering leap from the recommended 10%, it's evident that the American palate has an insatiable appetite for sweets, with an average intake of 126 grams a day. It's a love affair that's so intense that some experts have likened this collective sweet tooth to nicotine dependence. As we savor that frosted donut, our brain releases a surge of feel-good chemicals like serotonin, which makes us crave that sugar high. Sugar taps into the same biochemical systems in our brain that reward us for other pleasurable activities. Food companies have perfected the art of identifying which flavors will make our taste buds crave more immediately. Spoiler alert, sugar often tops that list. While the world may scratch their heads at syrupy American breakfast choices, it's worth noting that while indulgence sure is a factor, biology, psychology, culture, and the environment also play a crucial and dangerous role. America, with its vast expanse and diverse heritage, has a breakfast palate influenced by a medley of global traditions brought by waves of international immigrants across history. Even the humble bagel, a breakfast staple for many, was brought to America by Jewish immigrants in the late 19th century, eventually becoming a widespread breakfast favorite by the 1970s. And the donut, that quintessential symbol of American civilization, was introduced by Dutch settlers in New York. From sticky buns to sugary cakes, bagels, and donuts, America's breakfast plate has truly been a melting pot of international treats, a testament to the nation's diverse cultural heritage. While some of the reasons why Americans like to eat sweets for breakfast can be a bit dubious, it's a beautiful realization that America's love for sweet breakfast is not just a taste preference, but a heartwarming tribute to its multicultural roots. When it comes to morning meals, the modern American is inundated with options. Today, brightly colored labels shout low-fat, vegan, gluten-free, and low-carb from every corner. While these buzzwords imply health benefits and tempt consumers into thinking they're making the best dietary decisions, they can often be misleading smokescreens. Take granola and yogurt, for instance. These seemingly healthy options have long been breakfast staples for the health-conscious, yet the market is flooded with yogurts that may as well be desserts. Opt for plain versions, which are generally free of the hidden sweet traps. And then there are smoothies. While a homemade blend might nourish, a store-bought version might leave you feeling drained due to its high sugar content. Often they're packed with artificial sweeteners, fruit juices, and sweetened dairy products, turning them into vessels of excessive calories and sugar. And don't even get us started on smoothie bowls. Those crunchy granolas and coconut flakes come with more sugar than your diet recommends. In the quest to uncover why Americans love sweet breakfast, the real challenge is discerning those that offer true health benefits from the many sweet illusions laid out before us.